We're still waiting on them. Yeah, we're having some issues.
Ready? I thought for the travel problems we had getting to UTEP and missing a day of practice and playing in a tough game that we let get away, and then to come back and go into finals and take a couple of days off and come out of finals having had your finals and practice Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and play Saturday. I thought they did a really good job mentally of using this as their last final exam for the week to get through the game. The most important thing was to win it, but I thought we did some good things. On Wednesday, I tweaked my offense because I'm kind of tired of seeing us play so slow, and I've always wanted to play as fast as my teams have played in the past, and the one guy that gets us that way is Drick. He's the fastest guy with the ball. The plays he made on the floor that he's made in practice gets everybody involved because he's big, he's strong. That ball zips down the floor on a rope. He sees the floor. He's totally comfortable being a facilitator and getting people their buckets. He just makes us a different team now. With the shooters you can put on the floor around him in transition, I don't know how you guard that with an opposing team's five-man backpedaling with as fast as he's coming down the floor. So to be able to have four guys in double figures and 20 assists on 28 buckets, that's pretty good. Having tweaked that on Wednesday, and I'm proud of the way these guys accepted that. Now we just need to clean up some things and get ourselves going. I also thought defensively we were much better in this game with our zone. This is the first time we played zone for that length of time. I thought we were outstanding in it. We relaxed a few times mentally and let some shooters get away from us, and then even mixing in the 1-3-1 a little bit with it as well too. So I was happy we were able to work on some of that stuff. Play well in spurts in this game, make an adjustment with Drake and get through the game and win a game. Doing all that in the middle of finals week with no students here was pretty good for us.
Coach, who does Drake remind you of as a player?
For me, that I've coached before, I had a player by the name of Darius Wright that was that fast with the ball, just a jet with it, but only he's 6'8". People are going to look at him and say Draymond Green doesn't shoot the ball like Draymond Green. Is he as smart as him? Yep. Tough as him? Yep. Understands the game? Yep. He has great feel, but he's a very unique player to have that type of athleticism, that kind of skill set, his ability to dribble it, and then the basketball IQ to see the floor and see the game. He's just a great weapon, and we're fortunate to have him here because he has an opportunity to really make us good offensively once we get comfortable now cranking up and playing that fast. We finally got to a point where on the sidelines, I didn't complain about we're playing too slow because I finally felt like we were playing fast in the game.
Quentin Henson, another strong game for him, getting defenders off of their feet. Where do you feel he's at right now as you guys head into a big game Wednesday?
I thought practices on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday by him and even Carter, the new guys, you just feel the team starting to understand things better, and particularly the new guys trying to do some things better. He's starting to feel more comfortable. The more comfortable we can get him, the more game he gets underneath him, the more comfortable he gets playing, he's just going to get better. So he gives us a chance to be really big on the floor. Arenzi didn't play in this game, but we've had a lineup with Drake and Robo, Arenzi, and Quentin Henson out there with Malachi. That's a big team, and a physical team, and an athletic team as well too, and a speed team that can shoot the ball. So his development will just give us more dimensions as to how we can play different lineups and things.
Kind of a two-part question. How proud are you of your team not looking ahead with the big game on Wednesday, and then how excited are you guys for the challenge?
Every game is a big game for us, and I mean that too. This is a young team. There's just no way we can look ahead. When we were in Anaheim, you saw those other teams there, and we could look to the next game because you see the team playing there. But it's not like looking ahead to Kansas State. I mean, it's a challenge. They beat us last year at their place and played us tough. They're a great team defensively. They're a physical team rebounding the ball. They got great guard play. They're going to be problems for us. So it's going to be a challenge. So I'm anxious because we have to play at another level mentally and physically to win the game. And that's a good thing right now for us in the preseason because it's going to force this young team to grow as we head into the break.
What do you think it can do for a team when you look at the scoreboard after the first 6 minutes? You held them to 2 points, I think, and really it kind of shows how well you guys have been playing defensively, and you guys have been talking about creating your own energy without kind of the students. Do you think that does create energy for the team playing that well defensively?
It does, and we did some things that made us play a lot faster, a lot harder. I think the offensive side creates the energy too. As fast as we were getting up and down, even though we weren't as productive early on, it's just the tempo of the game sped us up and allowed us to play harder defensively. So without the students being here, we needed to get ourselves moving and get ourselves going. And hopefully, once we get up to Spokane and that game on Wednesday at 8 o'clock, there'll be enough energy in the building that'll just even add to that.
Do you think you guys can kind of achieve this scoring balance most games, where you still win a game by 13 when Robo is only scoring 10 points?
If guys will play together and trust in the system, if guys will be happy for their teammates, not worry about getting theirs and just play within the system, you can share the ball and everyone can score. And that's what Drick does. He gets everybody involved in the game. All you have to do is play defense and get out and run. He's going to get you the ball. So if guys will buy into that, yes. If we don't, then we're going to struggle. But if we do, we got a chance to be pretty good.
I feel like I heard the word energy like 100 times tonight. Is that something you guys focus on in practice this week?
You'll hear it a lot more just because of the more energy we can generate. Again, keep in mind, I watched the tape with this team playing against Purdue, and Purdue had 12,000 people in the arena, and just the energy in the building, you just play so much harder. And without having that here, we're constantly in practice getting guys to play at a higher level, and that carries over into the game. So yeah, energy is a word you're going to hear a lot from us, because we have to play hard to generate our own energy in a building when the students are not here.
Coach, going back to Drake, I think you saw evidence of the basketball IQ that you mentioned. He had an opportunity to score a double-double tonight, and instead he decided to pull the ball back out, run out the clock. So what makes him running the offense different from how it was running before, and what sort of example has he set in his brief time here for your younger players?
Well, first of all, again, I didn't know he was flirting with the double-double. I probably would have told him to go score it and get the double-double. Secondly, again, it tells you about the character of him and the IQ to know he didn't have to score. He could just pull it out and keep the floor spread and run the game out. I don't know how many players would have done what he did, and that says so much about how unselfish he is, what a leader he is, and the example. To have a guy that's already graduated, that's already been to the tournaments, two people in that locker room that's been to the NCAA tournament. I'm one and he's the other one, and I can't play anymore. I can only coach. He understands, and he's a great example if the young guys will use him as an example. It's kind of like when you parent your kids. You can be a great example as a parent, but if your kids don't listen, you're just a great parent for kids that don't listen. So he gives a great example of a player on the floor that takes care of his academics. He's great in the college community with the students. He does a good job on the bench. He comes and brings that energy every day in practice, and he plays at a relentless pace that he's going to will this team to play at another level with that energy that I talk about. And that's why he's just a blessing to have with us, having already gone through the fires of being at this level and playing in the tournament.
Coach, Beyonce reached double figures for a second straight game. This is the first time he's done that in his career. What kind of progress have you seen out of him this past week?
You know, we switched up, and we're going to switch up captains every week, and it goes on what we see in practice. This week it was Drake and it was Beyonce. And because of Drick's leadership, he was incredible in practice on Wednesday, coming back from that loss. He willpowered that whole team to have a great practice. And Beyonce's been Mr. Consistency. I mean, he just goes about his job. He's not the most vocal guy, but he epitomizes what you want your program to be. Take care of his academics, always trying his best defensively, doesn't break down much at all, and always looks to make the right play on the offensive end of the floor. And if you can do that, you're going to win a lot of games if you have players with that type of mentality.
Now that you got back into the win column, what do you tell your team going forward against a big game against Kansas State?
The biggest thing was to get the win, is what we told them coming into this game, because it keeps us in the hunt with everybody else. Everybody's got 3 losses with the exception of Arizona State and a couple of schools above us with 2, but we need to stay in the hunt. The Kansas State game is important, but just as important is staying with the rest of the conference as we go through the preseason. We've not been there in the last 3 years. We're there now, and we'll feel a lot differently by ourselves if we can close out the preseason, go to the break, comeback. Everybody starts at 0-0, but you've gotten a lot better as a team and a lot better than where people thought you were going to be coming into the season.
Okay, I noticed Milan Aqua didn't get a whole lot of playing time today. Is there a reason for that?
The reason for that is, number one, Malachi plays that position, plays so well, and Drick dominated the game from that position as well, too. So we've got to find minutes for all these guys. We've got about a 9-man rotation right now that he is in it. But when you reach a rhythm and the rhythm gets going, you do not break the rhythm just to get people minutes. You ride that rhythm. And Drick gives us a rhythm in that game that we've not had since I've been here. And that's the speed of the game, the facilitating that he does at that position when he has it at point forward, if you want to call it, or 0.5 man, to be able to rebound the ball and push it at that pace. And not only push it, to be able to find people quickly after 1 or 2 dribbles. That's a skill set that's not easy to come by. And when we have a guy like that that can do it, we have to use that because that's going to make us so much more better offensively.
Okay, I noticed you paying attention to Jeff Pollard over there. Is he have an injury or what's going on?
No, Jeff is fine. Renze didn't play in the game either, and should play more as we go forward and everything, depending on what type of game it is. So we've got a deep bench, and guys just need to make sure they stay accountable to the system and accountable to what we're trying to get done out there on the floor. If they do that, we got a chance. Okay?
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.